We want to talk about how and why we planned our traditional wedding. Yes, we did. So if you want to know all the details, keep watching. First question, what was most important to you about the wedding? Like everything, think about it A to Z. What was most important to you?
I think
Deep.
the most important thing is that we had the money to finance it, and the day went just the way we wanted it to go. I don't think, and that we really just had fun. I think it's not one thing; it's those three things, because it's hard to put one outside the other. Because we could have had the money to finance it, but it didn't go how we wanted it to go, or we could have gone the way we wanted it to go, but we didn't have fun or stuff. So it's just those three put together. Those three were the most important thing to me.
I think for me, I would say I have one thing, or I had one thing, and definitely I wanted us not to spend, like, I wanted us to, there's something I always say: if you can't afford it twice, then you can't afford it. So for me, I wanted us to be able to afford the wedding. Like, I didn't want us to deplete our savings or spend one ridiculous amount of money, and then we're still living in a rented apartment. So it was very important to me that savings was right there, and of course wedding would take money, but not money that you would have to wait a long time before you recover from. I think this video is particularly targeted at people who have a budget and who want to be very strict about their budgets, and who want value for their money, because I think that was something that we're very particular about. Who want value for their money and who have some level of control over their wedding, because some people don't. Their parents probably are the ones funding it, and then are the ones that have to call all the shots. So for you to go the way that we went, you would definitely need to have control. You would definitely, need to have highlighted a budget and be willing to fight to fight for your budget. Basically, yeah.
Our wedding was the 1st of May, and we chose the 1st of May because we got married legally on the 1st of May 2021. And when we were picking a date, we just thought, why not just pick a date that aligned with the first date that we legally got married, so that we can have the same anniversary across both, and not do, oh, this is our tradiversary, and oh, this is our so just keep it simple, have the same anniversary. And also because May is her month, it's her birth month, she's a May baby, and I just prefer to spend all the money at once, and then just plan for May, and I know that okay, May has come and May has gone, and now I can just relax and go back to regular dynamics.
If our parents had their way, we probably wouldn't have had it on the 1st of May, because 1st of May was a Sunday, and obviously everybody wanted Saturday, would have preferred a Saturday where they could invite the whole world. So it's like we snuck it up on them. It was all like joke until like it was near, and then they started realizing, wait, oh shit, we can't invite everybody, we can't do this, we can't do that. So it was very interesting to see. Then the size. Want to go on the size?
So we wanted to have a very small wedding, because financially it made the most sense. Also because we wanted it to be intimate. We don't want a wedding where we would have people that we didn't know, and of course the parents would turn it into a circus or a carnival, and all of that. So we just wanted to keep it small and beautiful, have our closest friends there, and it just made the most sense money-wise to do. Of course, the parents had their reservations, and there was a lot of back and forth because it's a Yoruba traditional ceremony. So, of course, you expect that they want all and sundry to be there. But, I mean, yeah, we managed to keep it small, and we got through with it.
Yeah. It was a hassle from my end, because no, not even personally. I think for like my parents.
They're also popular
and my parents, my family entirely.
Mm-hmm.
It was really a big problem. My grandma wasn't exactly happy about it. Like, a few people were not happy about it, but we weren't just interested in spending money to, especially because we were taking a huge chunk of the bill by ourselves. We just weren't interested in using our own money that we had worked for, saved, and everything to feed and cater for people that just wanted to be there because, or people that our parents or family just wanted them to be there because they just wanted to make a statement about, oh, my children are getting married or my child is getting married. We weren't going to fund that. So it's not necessarily that it was going to be a problem. I mean, if anybody would have dropped the money down, I think we would have we could have allowed some more.
Well, first pointer, prepare to have people that will not be happy with you.
Definitely.
First pointer.
And I think it should already be like settled in your mind that it's okay if people are not happy with me. They will get over it, or they wouldn't, and life will go on. I mean, if they're happy with you, who yep. At the end of the day, who you really have? What difference does it? Doesn't move any needle, So I think he's really prioritizing what is important, and for us, budget was. So the location, like I said, we live on the mainland. My parents live on the mainland. His parents live in Ibadan, and my siblings, my family, my grandma, they live on the mainland. But we decided to have the wedding on the island. So why did we choose that?
So a large part of picking the venue was largely because we're being budget conscious, and we also wanted to keep it in line with the number of guests that we had, because we do not want to have all the money to go and dash one event venue and we still pay to decorate it. So we just wanted to keep it simple, and then we decided to do outdoor because we found a location that was let's just say by the lagoon, not seaside, by the lagoon, which offered some sort of fresh air, and it just offered the evening romantic vibe that I would have wanted and kept it very intimate and beautiful, and it didn't cost too much. So yeah, that's mostly informed the choice.
Yeah, I think that was the same for me. Like, the biggest, reason why, or the most important reason why I also was like, okay, let's go for this venue is definitely because of the price. I think it was 400,000.
Or
Then 50K
yeah,
refundable.
so 450,
50
400.
refundable that we had to fight to get, but we sure got it back. But yes, the venue was 400,000, and I thought that was like pretty sane, like very affordable, as opposed to paying 1 point something. And the 1 point something event center itself are so basic, like they are, so that's why AC will not be working or something, and then you're cooked up in a place, and you really want any really good event center will probably be from like 2M 4. I just thought that was ridiculous considering the budgets that we were working with, and we'll still now go and decorate again. We picked out the dates, we picked out the size, the location, the budget, everything, started figuring out the theme. What would you say is the next important step towards planning?
I think for me, that after all of that, is just really um, finding the vendors that would tie it all together or bring it home for you, basically. Because vendors in Lagos, being a vendor
No,
myself,
we'll get there.
vendors in Lagos are quite something.
Yeah.
So it's just finding the right people that will bring all of it home to you and will not cut your neck while at it.
Mm-hmm.
And also care about what you want to do and not just care about your pocket. I think that's mostly it. That was the most important thing, really.
And the big question is, why did we end up planning our wedding? Because we didn't start out that way, and we didn't think that we were going to, So, in your opinion, or according to your own perspective, why did we end up planning our wedding?
Okay, I think first thing is money, and money is usually almost always the first thing with weddings anyway. So first thing is weddings. We reached out to a couple. First thing is morning. We reached out to a couple of planners, and when they sent
Packages.
their packages, I'm like, what? What is this? What people pay? So yeah, we eventually found one who was willing to work with our budget and who was willing, the rates went all the way up through the roof. But for some reason along the line, our visions didn't align, and she wasn't particularly, we didn't fit. There was no fit between us and her. She saw things one way, we saw things the other way, and we prayed about it, and well, she prayed about it, and eventually the vendor called herself and said, "Oh no, I'm not sure I'm going to be planning your wedding." And we're like, "Yeah, we have to tell you to go."
At the beginning, I really thought that it was going to work out. But I started having like my concerns here and there after towards the end of our initial conversation where we're negotiating her fee and everything. When you're like trying to be cordial with someone, friendly. I mean, this person is planning your wedding. That's a big thing. You want to be friends with them. You want to at least build some sort of relationship. And for me, I felt like I was reaching out, and it was just like, not even, I can understand if you're like, oh, let's keep it professional. But I think it was just downright cold. You get? And that's where like some of the concerns started coming up for me. But I just thought, not everybody is me. I can go in one place now. Everybody is already my friend. I already know their name. I know where they were born. I know I know so many things about them. But not everybody is like that. So I'm like, okay, let me just leave it as that. And as time went on, I just said, I think one thing that really like, or one of the few things that put me off is telling me that's just how it is, when I know that I can get difference. So you're telling me to pay for something, and I'm asking questions like, oh, why are we using this person, or why is this the package they're giving us, or can you explain the package to me? And you say stuff like, well, that's just how it is, and then you start making me feel like I'm being too much for asking questions, I'm being stressful or something. And it just wasn't connecting, and even there was even a time like I reached out to her personally to kind of see maybe I would get through to her in like, by bearing myself out and saying, oh, this is what I want. Because it's a different thing if we didn't talk about our budget from the start. Because I put myself in the shoes. Imagine I have a client and they want to produce a TVC, and from the start they're already telling me their budget and their idea. From the start, I'm already going to be having conversation as, with your budget, this is what we can do, this is what is going to happen. And I remember when we were doing our pre-wedding, and I was just having a conversation with like two of my friends, and I was saying, oh, this is the way that I feel about my planner. We're just not, I don't feel like I'm connected to her. I don't feel like she has empathy towards anything that concerns me. She doesn't really ask me questions. She doesn't check in. She doesn't, she doesn't just, it's me that I will say, oh, I'm going, even when I was going for fitting, I'm the one that will say, oh, I'm going for fitting. No, she didn't just like, we didn't just have that, and I just told them that, oh, I prayed about it, that if she's not the one, God should just, because at that point I'd already been feeling like, oh, maybe my own is too much, and she always used to contact you. So it almost made me feel like, oh, I'm avoiding the troublemaker and I'm going to the, gentle one and everything. So I just was like, okay, let me not be the one to rock the boat and finish rocking the boat since I'm the troublemaker and everything. And then she eventually called you and said, oh, she didn't want to, which I was very grateful for, because I had already been thinking that, how am I going to manage this? Am I being a troublemaker again? What again? And it was just perfect. And I think what was ridiculous for me was when she said that, oh, we planned the pre-wedding without her. And I'm like, are we supposed to submit some sort of application to say, please, ma, we are planning pre-wedding, can you approve or something? I think that she should reflect and be like, oh, how come my clients had their pre-wedding and I didn't know about it? So What vendors would you say surprised you the most in a negative way?
For me, in a negative way, I'd say the venue. The venue because for some reason we had a conversation with the manager of the venue and we had told him that we wanted to have the venue up until 12 midnight.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. And we had an agreement and all of that. And for some weird reason, the security at the venue turned off the power at 10:30 p.m. And it was shocking because I was just really shocked, like what's going on. And we had just started the after party. And I went to have a conversation with him, and next thing he said was, "Oh, that's when they usually turn off the gen." I'm like, "Oh, we had a conversation with Kaneko, and he didn't even want to see reason. He didn't want to hear anything." And
The security or the
the
manager?
security.
All right.
And eventually, we tried to call the manager. He did not pick his phone. Da, 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 da. Eventually, when we reached him, and he apologized, he forgot to tell the security to not turn off the gen.
I think we even spoke to him like a day or 2 days before the ceremony.
And eventually, when the gen was turned back on 30 minutes later, everyone had left, and it was just really hurtful. But yeah, I think that was the only thing. Although, there were so many other good things that overshadowed that, so I tried to not focus on that one. But yeah.
I'll say the DJ. Yeah. The DJ, no. No. If you like to dance and you are particular about dancing, you want to enjoy yourself outdoor, just get a good DJ.
Pay plenty money.
Just get a good DJ. I think that if I think one of the people that I knew from the early set was the DJ I wanted us to use, and that was going to be my friend Java. And if he was available, it certainly would have been Java. But Java told me he was available 2 days to the ceremony, and we had already paid this guy like weeks before, so it would have just been. But knowing what I know now, we should have let that money go and still paid Java. So, what vendors satisfied you the most, like with their service?
Well, Tope and Jide and Jason and every other photography vendor that were there. Tope mostly because he did our pre-wedding for almost nothing. In fact, nothing.
Don't try this at home. This is only for family and friends.
We did pay him and he made amazing images for us.
Yeah.
Jide because we reached out to Jide a week to the wedding just to even find out his rates. Not that we were trying to we just want to say, okay, Jide, and then he was like, "Oh, you guys should have called me since I'm available on the day and I'll do it for free." And we're like, "What? Did you say that correctly? Did we hear you right?" And yeah, and he not only came through, he showed out. When I mean show out is, there's a difference between when somebody does something for you for free and they make you know that they did it for you for free. You would have thought that we paid for Jide's premium package. When I say Jide, I mean Jide Odukoya. You will have thought that we paid for his premium package. He came through, he was available, he was in fact, and you know how they say now, like photographers know that when the bride is in love with the photographer, it's a good day. She was happy with him and everything was just perfect. So I think top of the list is Jide.
Yeah, I think for me, definitely GOP Studios is like on the top of the list. Not just only him personally, but the entire team. Like the energy they brought in was just phenomenal. And the fact that, like you said, it's very different when people say they want to offer something for free. Most times that there is no spirit of excellence. They're just doing it. There's no real motivation. And one thing that blew my mind was the spirit of excellence that was still operating with them. Despite the fact that, they were offering this service, they were offering their time, valuable time, by the way, for free, and they were still doing it excellently. So that really, really, really impressed me. And yes, definitely, JOP like, I even gave a shout out on the wedding. When they say book of thanks, I had to go and carry my there. Because I was really, really, really impressed. I had a great time. I was very comfortable with him and his team, and it was just good vibes. It was great. So I would recommend 1,000%. Absolutely.
So you recommend.
Moving on.
Wow.
So another vendor that I really appreciated, some food vendors were amazing. Some I'll not even bother mentioning their name because I shall come my question. But people like the Amala lady, fantastic. Like everyone that had the Amala had something fantastic to say. And you know when you pay for something and you see the value of what you're paying for. That was the Amala lady. I saw the value of what I was paying for. And I'll definitely be leaving her number in the description box. She's amazing. She's very polite. She's very timely. She's an elderly woman, but amazing.
She was also one of the first vendors who paid her like,
yeah.
Imagine paying for Amala like 4 months.
She's amazing. She's amazing. There was no cause for worry from her end at all. And she was always even checking in, seeing how you're doing, praying for you. She's a sweetheart. And I never met her before. Someone just referred her to me and said that they always use her and they always have like a fantastic experience. And I also had that experience. So yes, I would recommend her. Nikita Waffles was also excellent. I think that their service was good. People were enjoying it. I saw it. You know when you are sitting and you are seeing what your money, I saw what our money was doing. Small chops was also good. I saw what our money was doing there. And then A plus. I saw it. So those were vendors that I actually saw. I saw our money working. Yes, I'm going to leave all these people below in the description box, their contact details. They're very amazing. And
also the band, please.
Yes, the band was better than the DJ.
Wow.
It's true. The band was better than the DJ. It's just that the band, obviously, they weren't singing like, Ashake type of songs, but like their audio was so good, clear, the sound was so good. The DJ, more regrets.
Shout out to the band. We'll also leave his description, his contact in the description.
Very lovely man too. Very, very lovely. I think it was one of the first people you picked out.
Yeah, because he's my choir master in church. And he knows how
and
to
he's
mark.
An amazing,
If you like,
and he came with like the whole team, and that was interesting. Even my parents commended, after the wedding. So
if you like Alijo and you like Tumba, look for him in the description. He's your guy.
So talk about your wardrobe vendors.
For me, it was an easy choice because I work in the fashion industry and a lot of the people who make these clothes are like my people.
Yeah.
So it was an easy choice because there's this particular designer whose pieces I've always fallen in love with whenever I'm shooting it, and he knows. So we're just having a conversation at a shoot the other day, and I just told him, "Oh, you make my agbada," and he was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And he said, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Anything you do is fine. I'll just take whatever you do," because I trusted him. His name is Mimi, and oh my god, he's an amazing guy. And then I also had Tia in Nathan, who I don't think anybody cuts suits like Tia in Nathan in Lagos. I don't think anybody. He made the suits for my civil ceremony.
Yeah.
And he, of course, was the first choice to make my suits for.
So I think for me, why I picked out the vendors that I picked out was because I didn't want to pay so much money and then now have to suffer. All those vendors that are just be doing shakara these days because, and then if you're not a celebrity or something on Instagram, you don't have a lot of followers, they'll just treat you like bullshit. I really didn't want that. And I'd been reading a lot about brides that were going through that, even those that were charging as high as $2,000, $3,000. I'm like, why would I, in my right senses, drop that money only for you to come and suffer me? So I wanted people that I could level with, relate with, people that we had some sort of friendship. And I think I'm very happy that I did that. How did I choose the person that made my aso-oke? I just saw like a video of one of the normal ashwebi that she made, and there was a corset to the.
That's not how.
That's not how.
Prayed.
Yeah, we prayed. I'm just saying, like how I came across.
Oh, okay, because we had to pray because it was becoming hectic.
How I came across the most. So, yeah, and then I'm like, okay, for someone to put this much attention into making a corset properly for an ashwebi, then maybe should be good. Even though there was no aso-oke that I saw that she had made before that interested me, and I was like, okay, she's good. I just trusted off of like, okay, this, I can see potential here. I'm sure that should be able to do it. And I'm very glad that, even though we had like a bit of a clash, and then I told her, how I was feeling, and she was able to rectify that, and we had a conversation about it, and we moved on. So that's really essentially what I was looking for, people that operated with empathy, and they will not just be like, please, how much are you paying, and just bullshit me and everything. Stitches by Laura made my wine dress, and she was amazing. She was fantastic. All my vendors came to the venue to dress me up. And
none of my vendors came to the venue to dress
I wanted, that relationship as well, where, it was just coolness, and so Stitches by Laura, she's not the greatest with her phone, but she's very good at what she does. And yeah, she made even my sister's outfits and everything, so it was great. And then the third person was Erie, Locks by Erie, and she made my playsuit in 2 days. Yeah, she made my playsuit in 2 days, and yeah, that was it. She was also present at the wedding, and it was all just vibes. And I think I have to also give a lot of kudos to Taiwo's Touch, who did my gele. Onome, who did, funny enough, when I met Onome, and I think that was, I don't know, 2019, I told her that she was going to do my wedding.
You told everybody you met that day.
I told her that she was going to do my wedding makeup, and turned out that she actually was the one that did my wedding makeup. And it was all like, I wanted friends around, because we had worked so many times together, and it was cool vibes. And then Abe, Matthew, like, these are people that, if you want peace of mind, you want value for your money, you just want great energy, you need to go to these people. I mean, Matthew is like the best hairstylist. Onome, if your skin is not correct, she will correct it. She will correct it without it looking cakey. And that's one thing I really like about, she will simplify your beauty, and I really wanted that. I wanted very simple, very subtle, very elegant. And yes, I think I picked a fantastic team for that. Yeah. At what points did you think that we saved money?
I think the first thing we saved money on was the venue, and we took our time to find a place that was not over the top.
Yeah.
I think another thing where we saved money on were our clothes.
Yeah.
That's one place that people usually splurge and go all out for. I think another place that we saved money on was on the food, because we were very intentional about it. It could have easily gone over the top, especially the food and the drinks. We decided that we're going to have alcohol, but we're not going to have spirits, because we're also having cocktails. So
yeah,
and spirits are ridiculously expensive. So
and the cocktail was not just for some people; it was going to be for everybody.
So
yeah,
there's no point having spirits and all of that. And it turned out that even as intentional as we were, we still had an overflow of drinks, because we still like overcompensated.
Yeah.
But those being intentional about it, because these things were easily running into the millions, and it was easy to, while being intentional, to keep the costs down, and we're able to just get a grip on it.
I think we saved money on things like invitation cards, because like when the first panel costed, she was costing 2,500. Was it not 2,500 per invitation? 2,500. Now times it times 200 people or 150 people. I thought that was ridiculous. I'm like, is this a joke? And we just went on Canva and designed a simple invitation card, and a lot of people had invites. So I'm like, why are we going to waste that money on cards that would not be useful? So I think that was a really big money saver for us. I think another place we saved money would be drinks, because all the costs that we were getting from vendors were like over the top, and we spent less than half what they were costing and had way more. Like we had leftover basically, and that was because we went directly to the sources. We went to depots, and we went to importers, and we just bought like the drinks and had like a management people do their thing, and we had someone in charge. And my dad with his sharp eyes, when he saw that the party was over, oh yeah, echo gbogbo all the people that try to steal food, my father knows them. All the people that carry food, mama, they told me everything.
I think that being intentional about these things and not just turning a blind eye to it would help you make sure that your money is being spent wisely.
Advice.
Um, for me, the number one thing I would say is be intentional, and trust God. Put everything before God. Planning, put the vendors, because we prayed relentlessly about our vendors. We prayed because we wanted vendors that not only cared about what they were going to get from us, but vendors who cared about the vision that we had. So just be as intentional as you can. Trust your partner, like trust completely, and trust God. That's my
Yeah,
advice.
I think God is like number one on it, because like I feel like us praying really got us through a lot of things and really brought ease to a lot of things. And yes, number one and very important at that is pray to God. Even when you don't know what you want, just pray that He makes it clear to you. Because at the beginning, it's not like we exactly knew what we wanted. It was as we went on, we're like, okay, this is what we want, and then it formed in our minds. Anyway, one more thing I'll say that I would advise anyone about is you guys should talk. Because there were times where I felt like, oh, maybe you weren't helping me enough, and if I just bottled that in, we would have had a lot of clashes, and we just spoke about it and we're able to address the issues. So I'll say that between you guys, talk a lot. I'll say leverage your relationships as well, because I think that worked for us. Leverage whatever relationship you have, leverage, and be very honest and unapologetic about what you want, because at the end of the day, you get to live with the memory for the rest of your life. So be very unapologetic about what you want. We wanted money. Monetize your gifts, and we even wrote it on the cards. Monetize your gift. Thanks, God bless. Don't bring pots. Don't bring anything. Just monetize it. Okay, 2,000. Okay, no problem. Monetize it. You are okay. That's how it can be useful for us, and everything. And I think that when it was really good. I think we stayed really close to our budget, really, really close to our budget. We went a little bit over if we include gifts. No, we didn't go over if we include. We didn't go over at all if we include.
We stayed right on budget.
Yeah, including gifts and contribution, we stayed right on budget. So, yay, we did a great job. So yes, leverage. He was really helpful in getting a lot of costs down and getting prices knocked off because of the relationships that he had formed in the industry, and that was very helpful. So whatever place that you have a relationship, please, go for it. Ask for help. Some people say ask for help. When you ask them for help, they will ghost you. That happened to me. People that they'll say, oh, you don't include me, you don't call me, you don't let me know. Okay, now I'm letting you know. Otisalo. So you can expect that. But one thing that will happen is God will raise people you didn't even expect. And that's the way of God. So just trust God. Relax. Start putting your spreadsheet down. It's not exhausting. I thought that spreadsheet thing was such a big deal. Just align items. How much have you paid? How much is remaining? That's all. And I think that you're going to be fantastic. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you have any more questions, if you have any more comments, if you'd like to see more videos from myself and my husband, make sure you like, you share, you subscribe, and wish us the best. You can also follow us on Instagram. We are at Halima and Tope. God bless you. Don't forget to live free and trust God. Peace out.